What is going on, RotoGrinders? Dean here. It's Dean 7904 in the DFS world. This is not a DFS show, despite the fact that RotoGrinders, we're known. We built our brand on daily fantasy sports, but there is a Venn diagram for sure. This is Card Stock Afterlock. This is our second episode. Just kind of went cold last week. We're going to be doing these, at least the plan is, Tuesday night, 7:30. This is the regular panel. We may be bringing in celebrities, other people on the cameos for sure, but the regular panel, the man who heads us all up, it's Will Priester, Chief Justice. What's going on, dude? How are things in your world?
Nothing much, man. I'm really excited to have a second installment of Card Stock Afterlock. I think it's going to be something that's really beneficial for the community, beneficial for me. Yeah, I know a little bit, but look, man, I'm here to facilitate and try to learn as much as I can. The name of the game is to never stop learning, and so with that in mind, man, I'm really excited to come on with you. Come on with Tambo. Got our producer Devin that'll be in our ear. He's getting involved. We've got a little bit of a snowball effect going. We're kind of got a mini snowball right now. And the more this show goes, the bigger that snowball is going to get. And I think we're going to help a lot of people along the way.
Yeah, you're not learning from me as far as sports cards. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from Tambo. I'm learning from people in the RotoGrinders Discord channel, which doesn't cost you anything. If you guys want to join the Discord channel, as far as there are some premium channels for sure for DFS, but it's a non-premium channel if you guys want to talk sports cards. And if you guys are watching us live in the premium, we have our eye on that. So we're going to, if you guys want to ask some questions, this is interactive. And also, of course, we're on YouTube as well. If you guys are in the YouTube chat, first of all, like and subscribe, notifications, the whole deal. We much appreciate it. But interact. Tell us what you want to talk. This show is kind of sort of open. We have some ideas for sure, but we're also expected to be guided by the chat to some degree as well. Another person I'm going to be learning from, you might know him from such things as the dude giving away a Tiger Woods card on the old Twitter machine. What's up, Tambo?
What's happening, Dean? Yeah, exactly, man. The $12 card. I'm excited to give it away, but hey, I got to take my shots where I get them. We got a great tool today. Will's going to be showing it off. If you guys haven't seen Market Movers yet, it's phenomenal. Get you the code for that in a second, but he's going to be able to show you live real time. These Tiger Woods cards are actually taking off. I don't care what it goes to the moon. I'm still giving it away. I said 10K followers. I try to get a little boost, let people know I'm getting after the sports card content with you guys, just kind of having some fun with it. It's not like we're charging money for this. We're just going in and shooting.
Where you at?
Some fun.
Well, how close are you?
9,100. But yeah, the promo is quite simple. We'll tease it now. I think the real tease is right before the show. You were laughing about. We got a name of the giveaway later on. We'll get to that in a second. But I am still giving away the Tiger Woods card. If you guys want to head over to Twitter at ToeTag and Tambo, you can follow me there. Retweet the tweet. It's like the second or third one down. Let people know about it, and I'm going to be giving it away. These things are going to the moon as we speak. Will's going to show it off a little later in the show, but as always, guys, excited to be here with you.
Yeah, so the topic of today's show is identifying your investment approach, and you guys are going to talk about that from different perspectives. And again, if there's some names thrown out at us on the fly, we're going to be using this SCI promo, Sports Card Investor. You get 20% off your first month. Use the promo code GRINDERS. And, Will, you're going to be showing off that tool to some degree. I know, of course, you have an article I believe is going to be dropping tomorrow. I imagine you use the SCI tool to help build that article. To tell the people about the article, you were telling us pre-show. You weren't shy. You're saying this is good stuff. You want to dig into it. Tell the people what to look out for. And somebody's on mute?
Yeah, I know I'm muted. I am muted myself. I was clicking simultaneously and talking. But first of all, I teased the article last week saying that I was going to talk about Patrick Mahomes. And as we really got going and I started digging in, this grand idea came to me, right? This grand idea. And so the name of the article for the whole duration of this article is going to be called Card Stock Concepts. That is the overall name of the article. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a series month to month. So for the next 4 or 5 weeks, the series that we're going to be in is the Legend series. And basically what that's going to talk about is taking current modern day players like Mahomes, and we're going to compare them to their predecessors, a guy like Tom Brady, in terms of career, in terms of cards. And I think, man, as I dug in, man, I found so many good nuggets that I was able to share. And so that article is going to drop tomorrow. Card Stock Concepts, the Legend series, is going to go about 4 or 5 weeks. And then, once that series is up, we'll move on to the next topic. It's going to be topic centric. It's going to be hobby centric. Really excited to bring this kind of content to you guys. I think it's going to be really unique for the industry. So I'm pumped. Once again, I can't talk enough about Sports Card Investor. and not just because we've got this promo, but because this is something I use. And when we get into, the overall theme of this show is, identifying, your kind of niche and how you're going to approach your business, your hobby, your collection aspect of this thing. When I pull up Sports Card Investor, I'm going to show you where I made some mistakes. Maybe might have got a little bit too aggressive, but it's going to be a fun show. I'm not going to hog it all up. We've got some giveaways. We're trying to get my man Tambo to 10,000 for sure. We want to give away, or Tambo wants to give away, this Tiger Woods PSA 9. I'm going to be giving away a card as well to some of the viewers, some of the listeners, whether it be from Discord or YouTube. We're gonna kind of pick a random name out of the hat and go with that. I'm pumped, man. I hope you guys can tell that the energy is oozing through the live stream as we speak.
I should say I feel like a big jerk. I got nothing to give away. In theory, I will. I don't want to say once upon. I will collect some cards, and at some point, I have some 1987 Topps cards. Does anyone want those? I don't think so. Probably not. Nobody really cares for those. But yeah, Tambo's giving something away. Chief's giving something away. By the way, I mentioned YouTube, and again, if you guys are in YouTube, comment, let us know what's going on, and maybe even we'll talk about one of the players. He'll pull them up the SCI tool if it's a person of interest. But if you guys just you're watching it on the replay, tell us what your thoughts as far as the show. Tell us your thoughts as far as sports cards. I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I just starting to get back in the industry. I'm totally a newbie. I'm not. I know sports. I feel like I have good angles when it comes to that, and I can apply that to sports cards. But I'm in no way pretending I know anything about sports cards outside of the general base knowledge. But tell us, what you want us to talk about. Tell us what you want to see on future shows. Do you want to hear that, Tambo? It was kind of teased there. By the way, Tom Brady's still playing football. You basically said he's washed. Well, he said Tom Brady's a legend. He's still playing, and people still think he's good.
But here's the thing: if you read the article, it's all going to make sense. And I talked about the fact that Tom Brady is still playing. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to compare trajectories, and we're trying to compare players that are what we feel like are going to have similar impact on the game, which will result in similar card prices, similar careers. And so right now, if you take a look at it, I don't want to get too much into the article because I took my time and did a lot of writing. But in terms of trajectory, if Patrick Mahomes keeps winning Super Bowls, he's on a Tom Brady trajectory, not an Aaron Rodgers trajectory, not a Drew Brees trajectory. So those are kind of some of the things we're going to look at. And, next week we'll be on a different sport. But listen, this Mahomes article it should be really good for us.
Tambo, you specialize in blue chips, blue chip pieces. I guess Tiger Woods will be a blue chip. I guess like Jordan, LeBron. Is that what you consider a blue chip piece?
Yeah, I think just anything that you're looking. Oh, those ones are more established stocks, right? There's certain ways and certain angles you can take. We saw it with the Tiger Woods card, which we'll get to later on. I was on it well before the tweet that everyone's talking about that you can go and find says get it before the HBO documentary drops, and everyone just saw that trailer last week when it came out. But I knew about this documentary months ago. And so when Will brings up Tiger Woods here and shows off what he was at when I was buying him, I was still buying him even as already graded. I was buying the boxes of cards for 30, 40 bucks Canadian back then, that because it would make more sense for me to buy the box and rip it, try and find one of these Tigers to have, and then I'm having 6 or 7 of them to send in. And that's how I got back these 9s. I've got some 8s. I've got multiple 10s. I'm hanging on to all of them because this documentary, and he'll show you here on this tool how you can go back and look it up. But when it comes to blue chips, Dean, for me, again, not the biggest expert in the space, but I know, so who's done well and who's got a following and who people are going to go after. And that's sort of, I'm less speculative. I would say I'm 85, 90% of what I own is in the, Zion, Luka. They're still somewhat speculative, but guys that I expect to have big time, not necessarily your Julius Randles, if you will, that you're going to buy his card in preparation for the season to hope it goes up and get some quick flips. That's another way you can go about it. But for me, and you'll see some of my cards later on that I got sent in, I'm looking for guys that I see bigger long-term to that I can get in now for lower and maybe make 3, 4, 5X by middle of the season, end of the season, even longer than that with a guy like Mahomes. We talked about this last week, 6-year contract, Kelsey, 6-year contract, Reed as the coach and their general manager, 6-year contract. Like they're putting together something for the future that I'm seeing a bigger picture. And that's why I'm buying more into that than I am on something like, Tua or Burrow or those guys. That's where the speculation should happen. If you're going to speculate, that's a whole nother segment for another day, but quarterbacks would be a spot that you would speculate because quarterback cards typically go up the most. That's just an example where even when I'm speculating, I'm still sticking to kind of some blue chip or less risk themes, but there's just such an opportunity for boom right now with this market that your returns can still be much more than your everyday bank or what people see in 7-9% range. You'll see stocks doubling here with these cards that we've got that we're showing off. Go to Tiger Woods here for a second, Will.
Yeah, man, let's pull it up. We're going to show off this tool tonight. Not going to do it, every step of the way, but I just want to show you guys, this is what it looks like when you get into market movers. My man Tambo has been on Tiger Woods, so as you can see, it filters it down for you. If you're getting close to the name, it's going to pull it right up. Choose your player there. Next, it'll give you the variations of cards that they have. Right now, Tambo's got that PSA 9 2001 Upper Deck Golf. You choose the set. He's got the base number 1 card. You choose the base. You choose the variations. And then what you do is it's got grades. It's got PSA 10, 9, Black Label, BGS. It's got them all in there that are available that have been sold. And I think that's something important to know. If it hasn't been sold yet, it's not going to show up. If it's been sold, it'll show up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up PSA 10 and PSA 9, Tambo. And let's just kind of show the people what this card has done over the past 2 months. I hit the search button and boom, I get the information right now, real time. Look, this is through 12/29. So I don't have to wait a day to figure out, well, what's happened today? What's happened yesterday? I've got it. So we look at Tambo here, and Tambo talked about having this card a pretty good while. Well, if we look back in October, it was at 106. It took some dips, right? We saw it got down to $54, but the sales were kind of all over the place. But this is no different than the stock market when you're buying. You get it. You're going to see some dips. But let's look at this trend. The trend is this card. It's pretty stable, but it's on the rise. And so right now, the most recent sale of this card was $173.74. That's a 62.4% increase since October.
Well, yeah, hold up. This is the 10. You're looking at the 10. This is 616 that the latest. And I believe if you go check right now, they're up closer to 700 US that they're going.
Yeah, both of them are in there. Like if you click it, you see where I've got.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got 173s on the 9.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's
who
huge
wants to explain, just for the novice out there, that this might be a little overwhelming for him. Who wants to explain what PSA is and the difference between a 9 and a 10?
Right. Yeah. Go ahead. Take it away, Tambo, because this is your specialty with Tiger here. I don't want to steal your thunder on this one.
Oh, no, it's okay. And I think they should, we'll post the article out afterwards. You've got a great article that shows the difference. I think obviously when you send it in, you're trying to get 10s. You want the highest value. PSA is the most recognizable, was recently purchased. The group right behind it with Nat Turner and some guys involved. So, they're blowing up. I know that everyone's talking in the chat about the turnaround times and everything. That's another topic again for another day, but they're grading your card. You're sending it in. They're putting a value. They're putting a grade on it, which in turn equals your value. If it's a 9, it's worth less, as this chart shows, than a 10. Just, classic math, everything that's there. What Will's showing right here, and this is the latest sales, is that the latest 9 sold for $173.74 and the latest 10 sold for $616. If you go back, Will, just go back to the middle of October for a second, the same line. You've got, look, 54 and 316. So they've doubled, right? And even like the other day was, you can go to the bottom there on December 21st was around when I posted it for Christmas. You can go over there.
Look at that.
It was $89 was for the PSA 9. There was some debates, 89, 120, somewhere in that range. Already you just showed it's up to 173, and it's because of the documentary. Right. So we were waiting. I was waiting for it to come back. I think a lot of people were. There's been little spikes here and there along the road. But, some people said this card's just not going to get there. It's just not something, or there's a high pop report, as it shows at the bottom. Pop report is the population. How many are out there? So right now there's 8933 PSA 10s. You can see it at the bottom that are out there. But this is a generational talent. Tiger Woods, best golfer of all time to most anyway that even know golf. You can go back further, but just the idea of that, the wins, everything, the culture. I heard someone call it a culture asset the other day, and I really did like that. It was on a YouTube video. I'm always sticking to the space and watching things as I go along, and I like that call because it's exactly it. If I walk in, and Will, you and I have talked offline about this, if I walk into somebody's house right now and they could have, the next closest thing to the Mona Lisa on their wall, and I wouldn't know. I know the Mona Lisa because I know what it looks like. It's been in every movie thing, game, TV show, whatever. But if it was a nice painting, I'd just think it's a nice painting. I'd have no idea the value, no idea who they are, who the artist is. If they tell me nothing, it would just sound fancy. But if I walk into your place and see all these PSA 10s on display, or a wall piece that's got them up there, any of that, I'm intrigued. It's a conversation piece. It stands out to me much more. So a little off topic from what you asked about the PSA, that's the pretty straightforward piece to it. Obviously, the higher the value, The higher the rank, the higher the value. So when you're sending it in, and like I said, a topic for another day would be to get on a cycle, right? I'm sending in, 20 cards every month now that I can just get it on a cycle where, yes, I'm not getting them back for 5 months maybe, but once they start coming back, now I'm going to get them back month 6, month 7. I'm starting to be like 1-for-1 trade, almost like a sock subscription program where you're getting socks every month for cheap. Yeah. It's the same thing, just I'm paying for it. But again, I'm not sending in cards if I'm not expecting to return on them.
Oh yeah. Side note: the Mona Lisa overrated. It's not that good. It's not that impressive.
And look, D, while we're on that subject, I do want to piggyback off something that Tambo talked about, because I think people don't understand how big or how essential a piece of information this is for this Tiger Woods card. If we go back to the beginning of the year, yes, it was a different time. COVID is still around. We do have sports actively going on versus back then when they brought out the Last Dance documentary. It was the hottest thing going on TV. If you look at Michael Jordan cards around that time, I mean, they spiked through the roof. Not only did the Michael Jordan's cards spike, but the Charles Barkley spike, the Scottie Pippen spike, the Dennis Rodman spike. And so I'm not saying that we need to be going out trying to find guys that are in Tiger Woods' era and be buying up, Tiger cards around Tiger Woods, because obviously he's going to be the main guy. But my point is, documentaries bring the light on a lot of these people, and then it puts the athlete at the top of mind for the investor. And so the investor goes out and says, oh man, I need to at least get a Tiger Woods card. And so when you're talking about guys that are collectors, I feel like collectors, yes, they want to buy it, at the best price that they can. But if they're saying that they're going to buy the card and hold on to it because it's sentimental to them, those are the guys that are going to maybe pay a little bit more because they don't have the intention of the quick flip or the sell. And maybe, at the end of their lifetime, when they're like, well, I'm a little older, my kids aren't interested, maybe they leave it to them and their kids sell it. But the point is, as documentaries come out, it does bring light to the athlete. And that puts them at the top of mind for the investor.
Yeah, and by the way, the culture thing you're talking about as far as Tiger Woods and just crossing over, like I use like my sister, and I'm like, my sister knows nothing about sports, nothing about golf, but she knows who Tiger Woods is, and I think that's the point Tambo was making. It's super. I think that, and there's value to that.
Yeah, and just to tie it in too, Dean, because of the topic of the show, like the type of investing, Will talked about a little bit earlier and asked me sort of how I do it, and you mentioned the blue chip stuff. It's just like for these guys, to me, the point of a guy like Tiger Woods is he's pretty safe. People know who he is. He's always going to be out there. There's not even 10,000 yet of this PSA 10 that, again, it can grow from here, definitely. But I guess my point is that even if it stayed stagnant like it did that whole time, look at it. I was never really worried. It was never too volatile, but I had the opportunity that it could really go up as it has. And who knows where it's going to be at in 2 weeks when this thing actually pops off. There's still people just find out about cards. There's still people who don't even know the documentary's coming out. They're going to be like, oh man, I got to watch that now. Like that's the culture piece where he ties you back in. And then that's what we're doing with a guy like Mahomes. I know we keep harping on it and talking about him. They're expensive to get into in some cases. But again, that's the idea. It's expensive to buy Apple stock now. It's expensive to buy Amazon or all these companies that are still likely to continue to go up and could have more events that make them go up even more, like Tesla or something like that. It's the same thing here. Patrick Mahomes is going to be pretty safe. The injury thing would be a huge risk, of course, but it hasn't happened. It's not as likely to happen. Things can happen. But the idea is, what do the next 6 years look like for him? To me, they look pretty good, right? We have to see what else happens. But all these new quarterbacks and new names coming in can do well. And that's where you get these 1-game spikes and all that. But the idea of the upside is there, right? The 6-year program here that we're putting them on, there's a lot of upside there for what that could be worth long-term. And you can just look at it with some of the guys like Michael Jordan and those guys out there, their cards and what their values are today. That's where I'm seeing it as well.
Yeah, and I think that's important, Tambo, because that's what, if you look at the article, I'm telling you, when you see Mahomes compared to Brady, it's going to be mind-boggling the potential that Mahomes has long-term. And, listen, Cobra Kai is back. I like Cobra Kai's back because he's interacting with us. And he's saying he would rather invest in a Mahomes rookie card than a Tiger Woods PSA 10. Obviously, we would rather do that. Mahomes is going through the roof. And here's another thing, too. Outside of those iconic figures, the modern-day cards are going to sell for more money than some of the older cards. Just wait until I get into baseball with the Legend Series. I've already got that one kind of plotted out. And yeah, they're going to be, the older player cards aren't going to be as expensive as like some of the newer players, but it's because the card quality is different. There was no Prism back in 1989. Those things didn't exist. There weren't those type of refractor type deals. So, it's kind of one of those things. And so, with Cobra Kai, what I'll talk about, because now, Tambo, I'm kind of going to flip this to how I invest or one of my specialties. Not that I don't buy blue chip, but I've really found a market in identifying guys that are under-owned or a little bit too cheap for where they are and flip them. And then I turn that into a big purchase. So I'll take the $50 card, the $30 card, and, sell it for $100, sell it for $150, and keep accumulating those assets. And then I'll turn it into a LeBron rookie card. I'll turn it into a Patrick Mahomes down the line. And so I think that's really important because Cobra Kai, you're looking at it as right now, it seems, I'm not saying for sure, but you're looking at it as maybe Jordan versus Tiger. Well, Tiger may be a guy that is a quick flip for some of the cards, not all of them. But like you talked about this documentary, if we're buying Tiger at, $50 back in October, but then the documentary is going to come out and he's going to be worth $600, that's a no-brainer. You buy the card, you flip it, and you can turn that into something else. And like I said, you're in the golf, you keep one. For me, I'm in the basketball, so certain cards I'm going to keep. But for me, in the way, and that's kind of the way I invest, I'm always looking for nuggets. I'm always looking for the low-owned guy. I'm looking for the guy that's kind of descending. And I'm kind of going to get into that. I'm going to use the Market Movers tool. Now, this is a guy I was wrong about recently, okay? Recently. Overall, I haven't been wrong. But recently in my mind, I said, well, let me check and see if he has a few more cards that are maybe taking a dip. Because this is a guy I was buying, during the COVID time because everybody was on Luka, right? Everybody was on Luka. And everyone forgot about Kristaps Porzingis, Tambo. Nobody wanted to buy Porzingis. And at the time, yes, Porzingis had a knee injury. He's got some things going on. But when he was in New York, they were calling this guy a unicorn. But because of the injury, everybody was down. So I'm going to pull up Kristaps. And like I said, this is a guy I was wrong about recently. But over the summer, I wasn't wrong. I was able to get in a lot cheaper than these prices that we're seeing right now. I'm going to pull up 2015 Prism Basketball because that's the most important set. Like that's the one that everybody wants to buy. I'll pull up the base, choose variations. Let's go PSA 10. And let's just see where he's been the past 2 months. And look at this. So if you notice, the past 2 months, he's not anywhere near Luka. He's kind of had the up and down roller coaster because I think people are, well, what's going to happen when he comes back? What's going to happen if he's not playing? And so they're kind of playing the game. And so it's kind of up and down with him right now. What I would say is I've been wrong because I expected him to take a lot more of a dip, but he's still a lot cheaper than he could be. So the most recent one sold for $265. We had one spike the other day for $385. But as you can see, he's kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. Here's what's going to happen when Kristaps Porzingis comes back, folks. This card is going to peak to $300, $400, $500, a couple big games, and he's going to be right back up where he was. So you have to look at that when you're investing. And yeah, everyone doesn't have, $250, $265 to go out and buy a Porzingis PSA 10. I understand that, right? And I'll pull up the 9 as well because I do want to include that so you guys can kind of see the differences in prices. But that's kind of the way that I invest. I'm looking for nuggets. I'm looking for ways to get in and, let the guy have a big game, and then I'm going to get out of it. Why am I doing that, people? Why? Because I want the Patrick Mahomes. See, that's what I want in the end. So instead of me buying it up front and I'm saying, hey, I'm going to take $5,000 of my money and buy Mahomes, I'm saying, no. I'm going to take $1,000 of my money and buy 10 of these or 5 of these Kristaps Porzingis cards, spend $1,000, and then I'm going to flip that. When it goes up to $500, I'll flip it. I'll take my profits. I'll invest in another guy that I feel like is undervalued or is going down. And I'm going to talk about one of those guys and keep it interactive. And I wanted to leave this one live for the show because I didn't actually want to look it up. I haven't started buying. I've talked to Tambo about it. And Tambo, you probably know what I'm talking about. But this guy is Carson Wentz. And you're saying, Chief, you want to buy Carson Wentz? Listen, Carson Wentz may be dust with the Eagles. But I'm telling you right now, do you think the Redskins would like to have Carson Wentz on their roster right now? I think they would. I'm not saying they're going to sign him, but I'm saying these are the types of things we need to look at. So I'm going to pull up Carson Wentz. I'm not sure if he's been descending. Like I said, I wanted to leave this one live for the show. But with Jalen Hurts playing, we've got to assume Carson Wentz doesn't start anymore. We just have to assume that he's been playing fairly well, had a rough game against Dallas, not really worried about it. I'm going to go ahead and pull up his silver because that seems to be the most popular one. I'm going to pull up the PSA 10, PSA 9. Just want to see where he's at, and let's see what's happened the past couple weeks. So if we look at this line, look at the line trending down. Why? Jalen Hurts is playing, and there's a lot of uncertainty around Carson Wentz. This has provided us with an opportunity to get in on a guy that's already got a big contract, right? And if he goes to another team and is successful, guess what's going to happen to these cards? They're going right back up. So it's just, this is kind of the way I invest. Looking for guys that are under owned. You know, another guy I've been talking about, and we'll get to him. That's part of my mail day, Miguel Andahar. Guys that are just too cheap for even recent output, maybe because of an injury, because of something that's happened, a coaching change. This is kind of how I identify them. That's the reason I was on RJ Barrett over the summer. Coaching change. Tom Thibodeau is going to play big minutes. I started buying RJ. So these are just, you know, this is the way I invest. There's a couple more tips that we can talk about, but I know I've been talking a lot. I'm going to let Dean get on and kind of share his perspective as a new person from the outside. And then, I'll get out of here and let Tambo continue to do his thing. But this is the way we do it, folks. Dean, back to you, my brother.
Yeah, I was going to ask, by the way, if you shared a story with us pre-show about Dario Saric and just sort of like the way, like little mini flips and like you didn't make a lot of money off it, but just the fact that Dario Saric is coming back tonight and he's dressed, that bumped up his cards because he was at an absolute floor. He might not even get on the floor. And like you'll talk about Andahar, and I saw another name in chat too, and I have a couple thoughts because these kind of go different ways. And if you can pull up the market movers tool, I'm curious how real time it is as far as stock market reactionary.
Yeah.
Because Julius Randle's going absolutely nuts right now. So like,
this is great. I love it.
Can we look at Julius Randle like right now? Is he trading? And then also somebody else in chat said Rui Hachimura, who's like still on the shelf. He's still not playing, and he's the guy that I would imagine that you might be buying on the low in the hopes when he comes back he becomes a thing again.
Yeah, and I'm going to pull up Julius Randle, and let's talk about that, Dean, because I'm telling you right now, I've already sold some Randles while we're sitting here.
Wow.
I've already sold Randles while we're sitting on, and this is what we talked about in the first show. That's why this hobby is so electric, and you've got to find your niche. I'm not buying Julius Randle to hold on to Julius Randle. I'm buying Julius Randle for the one game where he goes out of control. I can get out of him. It'll sell. I'll get my return, and I'll put it into a Patrick Mahomes. I'll put it into a LeBron. I am going to go real time. And then Cobra Kai brought up something. Look, Cobra Kai, listen, man, we can't give you everybody. I like Dak as a long-term investment as well. Carson Wentz is just a guy that is top of mind right now. Obviously, Dak is in that same boat. No different. Not playing right now. Could be declining. We talked about it. Let's go Julius Randle. And in fact, guess what? Julius Randle may not be – he's not pulling up.
Okay. Are your sales not being reflective? Like, does it happen like that in real time, or
I'm selling those on Star Stock, and that's a story for another day. But Julius Randle isn't showing up in the tool, but no big deal. Either way, I'm sure his cards are flying off the shelf on eBay. I mean, they've got to be because of the big performance.
Yeah. Is that something you deal with, Tambo, as far as like buying? I mean, do you mess with that? Again, we talked about the blue chips. You like the blue chips. You like the big names, or do you like to speculate in guys that basically people forgot about, like Wentz? You talk about maybe Washington. There's people who are talking about maybe him going to Indianapolis and reuniting with Frank Reich. Of course, there's that big contract, but I would imagine like there's got to be some way to figure that out because he's done. He's not quarterbacking Philly anymore. Jump in here, Tambo. Your thoughts as far as the cheapies. Is Tambo with us?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm back. Dean, you got me?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Was that yeah, go ahead.
These
take it over.
AirPods, man, this is like my third set. No hate on Apple here. I won't even go there, but I love Apple products, but these things just mess around.
Tambo. I don't know if you can see this.
Raycon? Is that Raycon?
Some of these.
Yeah.
These are the Beats Power. You need to get some of these Beats, man.
Yeah, I'm going to switch it up, but to answer your question, Dean, so here's the thing, like it ties into everything Will just said, and where you're going with it is have your goal in mind and know what you want to do. That's kind of the conversation of the show. So what type of investor are you? I got a lot going on. I'm a family man, 2 small children, RotoGrinders, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, DFS. I'm doing a lot of stuff, and that's not – everyone's got their own stuff. I'm saying, but I don't have as much time to invest in buy these cards to be able to list them and flip them and do all that. There's other ways to get there. Star Stock is a great tool for that reasoning. Once I get more time, I'm going to get to that. I'm just in that sort of a way better, speculative way to do it where you can get those big booms. But also just to talk about that real quick, I think one key thing to remember is I already saw someone in the chat mention, I hope they don't make the playoffs because I sold this card. Well, it depends on what your goal was and what you had in mind, because you shouldn't have the FOMO of if that was your goal, like with Will, these Randall cards flying off the shelf. That sounds like what he wants. So yes, they could continue to go up. Yes, this guy could have a great first half of the season, be an all-star for all we know, everything that goes with it. And you're like, oh man, I could have made X on those, but that wasn't his goal. That wasn't his intention. So the whole point is that. And that's why, like I said, for me, my goal and intention is not to take up all of this extra time. Honestly, it still takes up enough time. I think that's one of the things we're trying to do here as well, is make sure people realize what you're getting into. Right? You can't just buy packs off the shelf. Life is good. Sell them, make money. Boom, you're rich. That's not how this works. It is investing. That's why people talk about it. There's fees associated with it. There's volatility associated with it. It's not just some get rich quick scheme here like everything else. There's things you have to be smart about and how you do it. And that's why we're here for your questions and try and help you guys with it. People are talking about some boxes. That's another way to go about it. You can buy seal wax, hold on to it. Again, I do that as well because I talked about this last week's show, almost like how it's a mutual fund. It depends on your goals. If you want to go buy older stuff, because typically it's already marked up. You want 2018 NBA with Luka in there. It's going to be a lot more than what you bought this year for 1920. Even though people were speculating on Zion, Ja, etc., there's still a lot less cost to them now. They're going up like crazy as well. So I'm going to hang on to some of those, and that's why I bought them, because I felt like the rookie class was very strong. You go back today, I was messing around with some LeBron stuff. Look at LeBron's rookie class, as we all know, and then look at the year after when Dwight Howard goes 1. That I don't even know anybody. Like, I know them all. It's just funny. If you thought about that class and who came in after him, Sean Livingston, these guys, like, it's just crazy. Versus there's good rookie classes, and I'll call them bad. They're great players. They made it to the NBA. Congrats to them. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about investment and try and make money out of it. So for me, I don't really dig into that stuff too much, Dean, to answer your question. I like to mainly focus on, what's something I can sit on. You saw right there when Will pulled it up, the volatility of a guy like Kristaps Porzingis. Love the call, love the idea, the Wentz, all that stuff makes sense to me. I can get in on some of that, but I'm only going to do it with a certain percentage of my portfolio because I want to keep buying the bigger cards and watching them grow, and then knowing the times I'm going to sell them. We talked about this earlier with Tiger Woods. You'd rather, Cobra Kai. I love the show, by the way. I'm a huge Karate Kid guy, just so you guys know that about
Season 3, they moved it up. It's New Year's coming out.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Netflix.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited. Will Smith's son, that kid, that I don't watch that one because it's not the same.
The next to
me,
kid.
and
even not Mr. Miyagi. Come on.
Right, and even they know, like,
Chan?
they know they went a little bit too far with it. 1 and 2 was all that was necessary, by the way, but that's okay. Off topic a little, but just so you know, he mentioned like earlier the Jordan or the Mahomes. I'm with you, but when I bought this Tiger Woods, again, what was my goal? What was my intention? I will be selling almost all of these during this documentary phase as these things continue to skyrocket, as you saw just in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. That's all to do with the documentary. It's only going to get blown up bigger. I'm getting offers day in, day out. I've just got them listed at stupid prices because that's, again, part of your goal and intentions are, I'm not trying to rip anybody off. I know what I feel they're going to go to is that I'm putting the price out there. The market, let the market dictate it, just like anything else. The prices are out there. I'm getting offers all day. And until someone wants to pay the price, I'm comfortable with getting out. Guess what? I could sell it at 20. I could sell it at $2,000 and they could go to 3. It's all what you're comfortable with and what your intentions and goals are. For me, it was to buy them cheap because nobody was talking about it. Sell them when the documentary came out. Guess what? Later on in life, anything will happen. There's not much that Tiger can do that will cause his values to go down. Right?
He's had a history of things, but from his golf
thing is bad publicity.
Career.
But if I don't want to talk about, what could happen to him, different things can happen, but same thing, things can go up because of that too. So.
And Tiger's had he's kind of had a redemption story. Listen, he comes back, he wins the Masters. He's playing with his son, Charlie. Like, Tiger's kind of in a good light in the public right now. So I think as long as, he stays in that light, like, look, he's still going to be considered one of the most popular golfers of all time. Hands down. So I'm with you there, and I think he's going to be fine. One of the things, and this is a topic that someone brought up in the Discord earlier today, definitely wanted to get in on this because he said it was something we talked. This was Clarky 07. Here's the deal. I do want to pull up John Morant on Market Movers. I think this is important, and here's why. I do want to track Morant. Morant may come back this season, but I want to see, hey, what's going to happen to these card prices?
3 to 5 weeks, by the way, was the report. Just I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's what I saw today.
So there we go. So as he's not playing, let's see if there are going to be any opportunities. Now I'm going to pull up Prism because that's just the most important one. I'll pull up the base, right? And I'll pull up PSA 10 and PSA 9. But guess what? If you can get a discount on a Ja Morant, $200 or even $300, like that might be a spot. And that's something for me where I may go ahead and hop in on Ja and try to get some. Now look, as we can see, as of right now, Ja's still trending up. But the most recent sale, he was down at the PSA on PSA 10. Hold on here. I'm trying to get to the end. There it is. 729. The one before that was 776. That was 729. Went down a little bit. Let's see if he gets down. If Ja gets down to, let's say, $500, maybe I pull the trigger. And to me, that's still a wise investment because I think the guy's phenomenal. So just wanted to kind of show you guys the tools, see how easy it is. And this is kind of what can help you make informed decisions along the way. And I know we're kind of really using market movers. By the way, good plug here. Jeff's going to be on the show next week. Okay. And he's going to be live with us. So it's going to be incredible to have him and just pick his brain, get inside his head. So you definitely want to come back for that one. And then the last thing I'll say in terms of the way I invest, I don't want you guys to think that I'm always investing in guys that are like incredibly cheap, like $20, $30. Sometimes, like I said, a guy like a Ja, a guy like a Zion, like you could have bought Zion, I think, a couple months ago for a lot cheaper than what he's going.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that here in Mail Day.
And Tambo will get into that. But that's the same type of investing I'm doing. I'm just doing it on a blue chip player. So we'll get to that. Devin, Tambo, I don't know what part that is in your process. But Dean, I'll let you continue hosting. I know we got some mail days, we got some giveaways, and we're going to keep this thing moving.
Yeah, the chat is hopping, by the way. And again, if you guys are watching this in the replay, feel free to chime in, give us your thoughts as far as the show, what you want to see on future shows. Let us know in the comment section. Again, if you want to partake in the conversation, join the RotoGrinders Discord. Doesn't cost you a thing. There are some premium channels for RG as far as Discord. This is a non-premium channel. You can talk sports cards. Tambo, if they ping you, like if somebody asks you, if I ping you in the Discord, will you answer my question? Assuming it's a decent question?
Normally within the same day. And yeah, I try my best, right? That's what it comes down to, just what I talked about, the time constraints. But that's why I love being on the show. Because like you said, there's a structure to it, but we're also pretty open. Throw your stuff in the chat. We can chat about it throughout. I popped in the chat today about the Ja injury, right? Just seeing where everybody's head was at as Will just brought it up here. It's kind of interesting because it's almost like some people are already dialed into the fact that, look, I know it's a slight drop there, but if it sees 500, you have to buy. Like that's sort of, again, back to your goal and what your intentions are. But for me, it's an absolute buy, even though I have a lot of Ja already. He's one of my main guys. And so last night you sucked when you first see it happen, but yeah, you just got to grind out. If you're on this kid who's in his 3 games into his second season after winning Rookie of the Year, having all this high praise around the league, is there still risk involved? Absolutely. Is he getting a lot of games on TV? Not necessarily yet. But he's just so electric out there. You see it every week. So for me, I would still be in buy mode. I think that would be people panic selling. Again, why were you buying Ja? Because it was headed to $1,000. As Will showed there, it was already going up at $800 and higher, ready to get there. And then this injury happens. And so we have this slight dip. But again, you'll see some people buy it back up this week because of that. And then who knows? And it says 3 to 5 weeks, even if they're wrong, because the Grizzlies have lied in the past about this stuff. We could see 2 months. But again, what are you buying into here? 2 months is nothing in what you were talking about. It's like buying into Mahomes. Are you on the 6-year plan with Mahomes, or are you on to sell as soon as he wins the Super Bowl this year? And again, depends what you have in mind for goals. If you're buying Kobe's and you're worried that they're going to go up even more the next year, then maybe you do let some of your Mahomes stuff go at the end of the season. If, let's say, they were to win a Super Bowl, sell high, it's at its highest point. Use some of that money right into the Kobe because you're expecting the Kobe to go up big next year, et cetera, et cetera. So that's, again, what are you doing with your money? And realistically, I only sell if I have a reason to sell because I'm using it for something else. You mentioned, Will, there's just different ways to do it, but you shouldn't be into it where it's like, you need this money to get that money. You need that money to get this much. Like, it just gets so tough at that point. And that's where it ties into, in my opinion, things like poker, daily fantasy sports, things where bankroll management comes into play. Not going to go on a tangent on you there. I would just say that's something to remember. You can't buy everything. You can't buy every deal. Even if you think this Ja is the best deal ever at 500, if you don't have 500, don't buy it. And again, we're hoping, and we know that things are coming down the pipeline where you will be able to get in on these things where maybe you can get your $50 in at 500 and own 1/10 of that card and get back up and make the same ROI as us just on a lower number. Right?
Can you tease anything about that? Or can you talk about that? Is that something that's out there, or as far as that concept?
Well, it's called fractional ownership, and it's coming down the pipeline. Definitely think there are going to be some good sites on there. I'm not going to get into it too much, but the concept is fractional ownership, and I think trust me, as the shows go along through the months, through the weeks, I think people are going to enjoy everything we're bringing to the table.
We can't stick around forever. We're a producer. Devin's had a long day. He's got some tofu waiting for him. Probably he's getting hungry. It's getting late, so he can't stick around too long. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Will? Anything else you want to show off as far as the market mover tool? Again, if you guys are looking at that and you're saying, what is that? That's that's from sportscardinvestor.com. Jeff, who he owns that. That's his company. He's got a fabulous YouTube channel as well too that specializes in sports cards. He's going to be on next week. I'm looking forward to that. Is there anything else you want to show off there? Anything else you want to say as far as the market movers tool?
I'll talk about Ja one more time. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and look up Zion. So let's go ahead and cue that up. Tambo, you can talk about Zion. I'm going to cue him up because I think I want people to see kind of what happens, over the long term. So if you notice, back in October, NBA's winding down. No Zion. He's not out there. As you know, I keep pulling up Prism because it's the most popular set. I'm going to pull up the base. I'm not even pulling up silver. Right? Choose your variation. I'm going to pull up PSA 9, PSA 10. I'm going to choose the grade, search, and boom, it should pop up here in a second. And there we have it. So let's look at this Zion, and we're going to look at the PSA 10. And we see that the PSA 10 back in, this was September 30th, it was at 536, right? 536.05. Notice NBA season's dying down. Lakers have won the championship, so forth and so on. And his cards obviously took a dip in the offseason. That's a topic we'll get into later on. But then you look and they kind of had this little, but he's kind of going in steps now. Down, up, down, up. But the trend is up. And so you look at where he's at right now after a few big games, shot attempts are up. And look at where that PSA 10 is at now. 972.28, an 81.4% increase. Like, these are the type of deals I want to get in on. So, and I'm glad this came up because I don't want you to think I'm just buying $30 cards. Like, this Zion is something I get in on at 300, and I decide, okay, maybe I buy 5 Zions, and I say, okay, out of this portfolio, I'm selling 3 of these. When it hits 1,000, I'm letting them go. And I still keep my other 2 because I think, hey, if now we've got all-star potential, we've got all NBA potential, and so that's kind of the process. So don't think of it as if when I'm saying I'm looking for nuggets, I'm looking for value, right? I'm looking for value. And when I see the value, I'm going to gravitate towards that value and ride the wave all the way up. So that's how it looks in real time, Tambo.
Do you have a select you can pull up there?
Yeah. Well, I've talked about the select as well. I'll pull up the select. Let's go sets.
I think it's a good way to show too. While you do it there, Will, is just like you said, like, yes, the Prism is the be all end all when it comes down to it, but that also then causes certain other cards. Again, not everybody can get in at $1,000, but they still want to get it on a Zion. They still want to get a 10. There is opportunity there. So if you go to just the base,
and that's what I'm doing, base versus concourse, straight up. And concourse is the base for select. Just so everybody knows, concourse is the base. So base versus select. And on this one, I'm just going to pull PSA 10. Yeah, just going to pull PSA 10. Zion select 10, PSA 10 versus the Prism 10. And look at the gap there. Just look at this gap. Most recent sales on the select, we were able to get in at $368. Still 110.9% increase versus the Prism, which is at $927. The select is lagging right now. It's still too cheap, and I can get in on it right now.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we were going to get to it anyway with the mail day. I've got one right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's it. PSA 10 select. I just brought this on the show to talk about it because this was an example. And the reason I want to talk about this, and Optic is involved as well, right? I've got Optic. Yeah. But this is the thing. Prism boxes are so expensive, but select boxes are actually really expensive. So I'm tying this into the box price. For me, the cards didn't match the box price. Why was the select box so expensive? Not quite Prism prices, but still expensive. But the cards lagged this far behind. So when I got it, it was around 200 US. I was late to this Zion. I got around 200 US. But now, like you said, look at the latest one. It's already up to almost 400. So almost doubling my money on that.
And he's playing tonight. If he has a big game, it's going up again tomorrow, guaranteed.
Yeah, it's 368. Big game tonight or tomorrow. It's going to go to 400. Like you said, that's just what we've seen lately. And I'm being a little bit bullish, but I'm just saying like it's definitely going to go up or stay at least the same. I got it for 200, 220, like in that range. So my point is, even if you're late on something, you can still find angles. Like you said, looking for nuggets, but even within a blue chip name in a nice expensive, more expensive card, PSA 10, $200, $220, get in. Almost the same price as he was back in October, that now you're starting to see the rise. And now that people get priced out of this $1,000 card, they say, where can I still get in and still get a really nice card with a really solid value? You were talking about a silvers even. And that's sort of another one.
Yeah.
The gap
silvers are lagging way behind right now. Way behind.
Look at this too. And this is, again, I don't believe it. I know how Pop Report works. Everyone talks about Pop as population, but there's 14,000 versus 1,400. I still believe that Prism is Prism, so that's that. It has nothing, you know what I mean? And this is a superstar with a big name that should be around a long time, possible face of the game, etc. Where, taking the torch, Luka, him, those types of guys, I don't believe 14,000 is a lot, so it doesn't really matter as much here. But the idea is that there is still such a low population in this 10. I think that still adds to the value of the room of growth, where it can continue to go up. Maybe it never hits 1,000, but it can continue to go up, and then we'll see where we stand. I've got a couple more of these that I actually pulled that are at PSA right now. If I get a couple more 10s back, or a 10 and a 9, I'll let one go. And that'll almost cover off the price of the other ones, and then I'll decide what I want to do from there. But the point is, then I made the goal and the intention. I took the money that I made from the ones that I broke for nothing, basically nothing, that now is worth enough to pay off all three. And now I can go and sell that one and keep the other two as pure profit to wherever the market's at. So it's almost like I'm in for free, kind of like casino times, playing with the house money. That's what I'm trying to do, even within these bigger chips, blue chip stocks.
Tambo, producer Devin has a nice close-up. I believe it was a different card you're waving there. What is your mail day card? What are you showing off today?
I got 3. What's Devin got up? Because I don't got it up on my screen right now. It little lags a little bit, but I had 2 Zions where I want to talk about that just because these are purchased from a while ago. We're on a slow cycle up here in the Canadian Northern Abyss where we don't even get these packages sometimes for a month. But, I did get those. And I don't know. We don't got all the time in the world. I'm not sure if you put up the pink ice Shy, but Shy was more speculation. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but this is a PSA 10 Shy pink ice. It's just a different set within Prism, than his base or whatever, but they're nice cards. It's a PSA 10. The idea with Shy was really just around the expectation, Chris Paul leaving, what he can do, the amount of, we know how hot he can get, and could he be an all-star and all of that. Plus he's Canadian, so there's a little bit of bias there for me, but he's been one of those guys that's shown his ability already. He's young. He's from that same class, 2018, where, everyone's on Luka. And there is other guys, but my point is, it's not like more than one can't come out of a class. That's kind of what I'm talking about. If you go way back to the LeBron class, there's lots of guys in there that are doing big things, and their cards are still worth money. So I took a little bit more speculative play on that. I'll see what I do with his cards around All-Star break. Like I said, my theory and my mindset is kind of, does he become an All-Star? And then if he does, maybe that's where his card values are at a good enough peak that I can get out for double my money or something and decide to the next point, but save a couple for long term, because I still see the value in him long term.
Yes. All right, well, a couple things. We're wrapping up, obviously. Talk to me about the mail day card. Devin's going to be showing it off what you submitted. I'm not sure what it is. I'm curious. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Actually, you have a giveaway coming up. Tambo has a giveaway as well too. Yes. Tell the people where they can find you on Twitter. Tell them about your article if they missed it. Reiterate that. Talking about Mahomes and Brady. Give me the goods.
Yeah, well, let's go mail day, Devin. Listen, I'm kind of in on Miguel Andujar right now. I know he was down last year, got hurt. I still think they've got room for him in this organization. I think he's a guy that can come back. A guy that was hitting the ball really well. So making good contact. I'm expecting him to have a really good spring season. I read an article that kind of talked about one of the other players there. God, I can't remember his name right now, but he's kind of going to be hurt going into spring training, which is going to open it up a little bit more for Andujar to play a little bit more third. So at any rate, I've got Miguel, and this is one of the things. Now I'll talk about this in terms and tie it into the show with how I invest. So when I'm buying guys that are really cheap, like Miguel Andujar right now, I'm going to unload Miguel Andujar. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to buy the highest grades and the most unique product I can find. And so one of my favorites that I've picked up here recently, it's a 2008 Topps Chrome Miguel Andujar negative refractor. One of the most exclusive ones I picked up. This is how it looks on the screen there. Not sure how you guys can see it, but it's a negative refractor. I mean, it's a beautiful card. Pick this thing up for probably, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks. I felt like it was cheap enough to pull the trigger. I feel like this is a card I can let go if he's really rolling during the season for $100 or more. And that's kind of where I'm at. And then another one I picked up. We know we're all about autos in this business. If you can get an auto, get it graded. Pick this one up. This is when I think I put Tambo on early. He found the PSA 10 version of this. This is a 9.5 BGS. Bowman Chrome on-card auto. On-card autos are where you want to be. Got the 10 grade for the auto, 9.5 on the grade. So that's what I try to do when I'm picking up cheaper cards like that. I want the highest grades and the most unique stuff I can get, but so I can sell it at prices that I want. And then last but not least, I do want to show you guys this. This is a card I've had a long time, been sitting on it. Going to get this thing graded. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have a Giannis NBA Hoops rookie in my possession. Had it a long time. Just sitting here on the desk. Got to get it graded. That's going to be a hot card for me. And then listen, when you come on the 4th week of the show, we're going to have 4th week freebies, ladies and gentlemen. 4th week freebies. Got to be on the show at 7:30. And what we're giving away today, this is a favorite card of mine. I'm letting it go because we want to reward our viewers, reward people that are going to support us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an orange cracked ice RJ Barrett Prism sensational swatches. You can go and look this card up right now. It's worth a little bit of money. This isn't a $20 card, okay? It's already graded. It's PSA 9. So I'm going to be sending this out. And in fact, I'm going to let Dean choose our lucky winner for fourth show freebies. Anyway, 4th week freebies. Dean is going to pick our winner. He's going to stick his hand in the virtual bucket, pull a name out of the hat. Dean, whatever name Dean picks, I need someone to get me the information. Go on RotoGrinders.com. Go to my name. I'm Chief Justice 06, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Chief Justice 06. Give me the name. We'll exchange some, credentials. I promise I'll get this card out in the mail to you in the next couple of days. RJ Prism, RJ Barrett, cracked ice, orange, sensational swatches graded PSA 9. Let's get it, folks. Let's get it.
With great power comes great responsibility. I am willing to be bought off. Slide to my DMs, and I will. It will be on the up and up, obviously, for sure. I have my integrity. All right. Follow Chief at Chief Justice 06, I believe. Look out for his article there. I think it's coming tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes, article's coming tomorrow. Card stock concepts. This is part of the Legend series. It's going to be about Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady, career card prices, 1-1. We're going to cover all the sports, and then we'll move on to our next series, ladies and gentlemen. Clay said break out the randomizer. I am going to do that for the rest of them. This one I wanted to be special. I wanted to be someone that Dean chose. I promise we'll have random.com going on for the next one. I absolutely promise, Clay. Good call, already in the works. But this one, we just wanted to choose someone, pick a name out of the hat, and let's get to it.
Tambo, tell the people about the contest you have going on as far as direct them to your Twitter machine. Anything else you want to say before you step aside? We do appreciate everybody sticking around, the interaction with the chat. And again, join the Discord there at RotoGrinders. The link will be dropped in chat for you guys. Doesn't cost you anything. There are premium channels. You guys are premium members. That is not a premium channel. We also ask that you like and subscribe. We want to keep doing this show. This is our second time. It's fun. We're having a good time. We're trying to get some what's the word? Momentum. There you go. Get people interested. Cards and obviously there's a Venn diagram of sports cards and DFS players. That makes perfect sense. Tambo, tell the people some information.
Yeah, anybody that missed it at the top, again, appreciate the support from everyone. This is a fun show to do. Like for me, this is a lot of fun just to sit around, chat with you guys. It looks like it's going to turn into an hour show, which is nice. There's been a lot of engagement. Everyone's sticking through it with us. It's been a lot of fun. So check me out on Twitter at @ToeTagAndTambo. You guys can find me there. Go find. It's about 2 tweets back. Just retweet it. I'll probably pin it up actually, and then you guys can get it from there. But you just got to retweet and follow. We're trying to get to 10,000 followers there. I'm going to give away a Tiger Woods PSA 9, which we showcased at the top of the show. But this baby right here, this guy is up to right now. The latest one was 173 US. I just looked on eBay, and the latest auction is set to end tonight, is already at 200. So these things are flying up, right? As we speak, the documentary comes out next week. I'll get it shipped out quick, fast once I do it, but want to try and get as many people there as possible. I'll probably give it out by the end of the week either way, but definitely appreciate the support from you guys. And then again, like Dean said, just let us know if you can, any feedback you've got, anything else you want to see. We're trying to bring at least some sort of structure and concept to each different show that we do, and then roll it out from there. And we get into sort of shooting it back and forth and coming up with some ideas on the fly. So really do appreciate you guys all. And thank you.
Hey, and let me say this. I see a RJ Barrett sensational swatches, the orange cracked ice. It's a 10 right now. They've got it for $5.59, and they've got it discounted. They had it at $7.99. So the 9 is probably at least $200 minimum, even if you want to sell it. I think you should keep it, but hey, it is what it is.
There you go. Okay, that was I thought you had something else. I apologize. Want to thank Devin for sticking around the entire hour and producing us. As far as I know, we're still on air. Yeah, sure. Why not? Thank you everybody for watching us. Obviously, again, one more time, like, subscribe, notifications. That does help. It's going to help the show grow for sure. Join the Discord here at RotoGrinders. 20% off your first month. If you like the tool that Will was showing off earlier, use the promo code Grinders at SCI, the Market Movers tool. Lots of things you can do with that. Is makes such a time saver as far as figuring out what cards are going for in real time. That said, next Tuesday we'll be back for Card Stock After Lock. That was Will. That was Tambo. I was
Hold
Dean.
on, Dean.
Oh, what do you have for me?
We got to pick the winner. We've got to pick the winner.
We're doing it tonight?
I'm going to go ahead and choose.
Oh, well,
I'm going with the policeman's life. He's smoozing the host there. He said, "Oh, hey, Dean, looking good today. I like it. Let's go with a policeman's life." Sir, send me the credentials. Hit me up on Twitter or hit me up on RotoGrinders in my inbox, Chief Justice 06. Send me the name, send me the address. It'll get shipped out to you. A policeman's life. Hey, Dean, looking good today. I like it. He gets the card this week.
I was happy I had number. I thought when you said week 4, I thought you were saying 4 weeks from today or like the 4th week of this show, and I got confused. I didn't realize I had that responsibility, but thank you for taking it away from me.
Every 4th week, there's going to be a giveaway.
Okay.
4th week freebies. Every 4th week.
He's so excited about the name.
I was told that name before the show 3 different times. And I still couldn't remember what it was.
3 different times.
Yeah,
don't worry. I gave out the wrong promo code
Dean,
last week.
I know you're a big movie buff. You know there's something about Mary, not 6-minute abs, 7-minute abs. 7-minute abs. This guy's
what do you mean 5-minute abs? What can you do in 5 minutes? What are you talking about?
Not 3rd week freebies. It's 4th week freebies, Dean. You guys got that? Every 4th week. It's got to be
These
4th.
are the rails. We are not on the rails, okay?
Well, and you shouldn't have me on the show if you don't want to go off the rails, because that's what I'm here for to some degree. All right. I appreciate everybody watching. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast for sure. And again, join us again next Tuesday. Jeff's going to be with us from SCI, and he really knows the business more. I mean, I think he's look, I don't know. Before hearing him talk, he seems like the sharpest guy I've heard. So you're going to want to tune in for that. And he, of course, is responsible for that Market Movers tool. 20% off. You guys can check out the link there in chat. That was Tambo. That was Will. Congratulations to a policeman's life. Is that what that was?
Yes.
There you go.
Policeman's life.
There you go. Enjoy yourself some RJ Barrett. I was Dean. We're out of here. Holler. Thank you.